one lesson at a time. And here's that next lesson. Lesson 74, when do I know it's time to leave a relationship? The word dysfunction, when used in the relationship context, literally means the relationship is not working, not functioning in a healthy manner. There are large degrees of difference among dysfunctional relationships. Sometimes a relationship that is stale or boring may feel dysfunctional. External stressors can also feel dysfunctional when they create unusual or unfamiliar patterns of behavior. Almost all relationships go through periods of being less functional than usual. These normal patterns in most relationships need to be contrasted with the severely dysfunctional relationships. The latter are the ones which involve abuse, addiction, physical or emotional destructiveness, or harm to the involved members. When the potential for abuse or serious harm is high, the victim needs to leave the relationship as quickly as possible. I left my fourth marriage because this woman threatened to kill a third cat, and I wasn't going to let her do it. She had killed 2 of my cats. I let her do it because of no self-esteem, and I had to accept that and face the pain of that. Forgive myself for letting her do it. Forgive her for doing it. Okay, in the first place. And I've been dealing with this for 21 months as of today. And it's getting better because I learned how to heal myself. We cannot take care of ourselves emotionally until we are assured of our physical safety. We cannot work on change and growth when our energies are being consumed with basic survival needs. We have the right, and we owe it to ourselves to put ourselves in safe environments. If we have the slightest possibility of doing so, we do not have to choose to stay in a victim role if there is any way out. Emotional safety is as important as physical safety. You cannot function to the best of your abilities if you are being emotionally abused. If you are involved with someone emotionally destructive to you, stop trying to change him or her and leave. If you're living with an alcoholic or an addict who expresses no interest in working on changing, you are better off leaving this person with the addiction rather than trying to deal with it. My fourth wife was an alcoholic. It was just wine, she said. And I would plead and beg with her to quit drinking. Okay? But it just made it worse. Remember, the addict's first concern is toward whether she is addicted to. This stuff's happening to a lot of you out there. When you ever start watching my videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. You cannot come before the addiction until the addict is willing to give it up. The success of an intervention process, tough love, with a dysfunctional family always involves the fact that the addict must choose between the addiction and the partner or the family members. The addict cannot have both at the same time. No matter how painful the leaving may be, in the long run there will be less pain than staying in a hopeless situation. You have the responsibility towards yourself and your vulnerable children to remove yourselves from an abusive environment. Remember, safety ranks as primary need for humans and animals. It is more basic than sleep, food, or sex. Do not allow yourself to remain in an unsafe environment if there is any means of escape. That's exactly what happened to me. This woman was going to kill my cat, and he is alive and kicking because I left her. You do not deserve to be in danger. What about other relationships? The ones where there is no danger, but they are not functioning well. What about being bored or unhappy with the relationship? How do you know if and when to leave these cases? A good rule here is to make no quick or rash decisions. Take some time and get some help. Think about the things you feel are missing from the relationship and work on the ones that you can take care of by yourself. If you lack self-esteem, you may be placing unreasonable demands upon your partner in the relationship. If you have illusions and unrealistic expectations about what the relationship can do for you, you need to focus on these and change them. Do not leave a relationship just because you're bored or unhappy without trying to change yourself. No relationship can always make you happy or stimulated. No relationship can do for you what you're not willing to do for yourself first. If you do leave and do not work on your... This is like one of the first chapters I read out of this book, or lessons. And I read this and I was like, I got to go through the pain. It was my fourth marriage. If you do leave and do not work on your own self-esteem, you will just take all the garbage with you and it will cause rot in your succeeding relationships. Remember that self-esteem is not a relationship issue, but an individual decision. You learn and practice self-esteem before you practice social interest. In other words, you get self-esteem before you get in a relationship, before you can have a healthy relationship, just like I said. The relationship cannot make you healthy. It can only make yourself healthy. Too many relationships fail unnecessarily because one or more or both partners are involved in the weak ego, which means you got to have more stuff, right? This woman I was with, there was never enough. And we had a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 5-acre farm with everything coming out of our ears. All the closets were full of junk. Everything was full. The barn was full. The house was full. The shop, 1,200 square foot shop, was full of junk. Stuff we never used, okay? But it was never enough. That's what the weak ego is. These people involved in the weak ego and expect their needs to be met from the externals. Those are those 11 things. These people will relationship hop until they die or learn they must give themselves what they're looking for. Then there are those that stay in unhealthy relationships far too long. And that's the second thing people do, folks. These usually are codependents who are caught up in the I can change the other cycle. These people do not identify themselves as the problem, but are consumed with the other. I know one couple, my ex-in-laws, been together 70 years, and they hate each other. And they popped out dysfunctional children. I married the daughter, okay, one of the daughters. These people, they need to be needed, to people please, and to caretake. Again, they're looking for something outside of themselves to change. Remember, you cannot control anything outside of yourself, and you cannot change anyone but yourself. If you cannot learn and practice self-esteem in the relationship, leave the relationship. If for any reason that is out of your control, you cannot be who you are in the relationship, leave the relationship. Try to leave without blame and recognize you are part of the sick cycle and take care of yourself. Do not make yourself a hostage to a sick relationship. You stay in a relationship that you are physically and emotionally safe in, that allows you to change and work on yourself. You stay when you can work on your own needs and wants, and the relationships allows you these freedoms.